Hi, Tips and Tricks Tuesday. Still staying along the lines of self-care. And this week I thought I would talk about sleep. As my family knows, I love to sleep. I've often talked about how I don't take as many naps now that I'm on my nutritional supplement Thrive. And that's good because I need the time. But I'm a little bit sad that I don't nap as much as I used to. Not that I have time. The reason I wanted to bring up sleep is because I know it is something a lot of us struggle with, whether it's because we're super busy and maybe we have kids who are older and don't go to bed as early, and so consequently we don't get a chance to get stuff done until they're asleep. Maybe you're going through menopause and you don't sleep as well that way. I don't know that I have any tips and tricks about that per se, because I know that is just part of the natural aging process. Or maybe, you're somebody that's on your phone until super late at night, just kind of, I'll say it, dicking around, just trying to, just whatever, it's how you relax, you're on your phone and so forth. And I would like to help you get some better ways or get to sleep easier and then stay asleep. And because of the reason that I think we can all relate to, which is when we don't sleep very well, I mean, not only are we tired throughout the day and maybe not as focused and can't get as much done, but we also tend to eat a little less healthy when we are tired. And that's been a thing we've all had it. I would argue a lot of times when we I was going to say when we do this like I do this on a regular basis, but you've been out when you've drank too much the night before and you're hungover the next day, and the only thing that sounds good for breakfast, lunch, and dinner is Taco Bell. I mean, that's the thing, right? I would argue that a lot of times when you're hungover, it's the lack of sleep that is making you feel that way with regards to wanting to eat more and so forth. And the bottom line is there is actually a biological reason why we want to eat more when we're sleep deprived. I used to say, and I still believe, that when we're sleep deprived, our sort of inner 2-year-old comes out, and even with the best intentions, you kind of don't care when you're tired. You kind of just want to do what you want to do, and consequences be damned. Until you do that thing, and then you're beating yourself up for doing that thing, eating that Taco Bell for breakfast and lunch and dinner, or whatever it might be, donuts, usually some kind of high-fat, high-carby food is what we crave when we are sleep deprived. And there is actually a biological reason for that. I had some notes here, and they disappeared, and that's a shame because I actually wanted to talk. Oh, here they are. See, I don't, when I make up things go wrong in my video, I don't stop it just because this is on video. This is like being live, it's just not. Anyway, so there are actually, I recently learned this, and this is why I wanted to talk about it. I think I actually first heard about it, at the risk of sounding like a repeating record. I heard it when I was listening to the Oprah Deepak 21-day meditation back in March. And again, that meditation was specifically about weight loss or losing weight. And it wasn't just about physical weight, but also mental and emotional weight and that sort of thing. But one day in particular, the topic or the nugget that Deepak shared was that biologically stuff happens when we are sleep deprived. And so I've got my little notes here. When we are sleep deprived, there is a reduction in a hormone called leptin. And leptin is actually a hormone that signals fullness. There is also a overproduction of a hormone called ghrelin. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. It's Grelin. And that is a hormone that signals feelings of hunger. So it's a double whammy. You are having an overproduction of a hormone that makes you feel hungry, and a reduction of a hormone that makes you understand when you're full. Seriously, like, come on, body. Really? That's like just so totally not fair. But I think that when you understand why things happen, you can better manage it. So it doesn't mean that the next time you are tired, that you are not going to have these two things happen just because you have the knowledge of it. But I'm hoping that having the knowledge of it will make you recognize that you may really, really, really want a bagel. But if you had some chicken, that would work too, and know that your body, for at least a day, is probably, until you get a good night's sleep, is probably not going to work the way you want it to. And so you're fighting a bit of an uphill battle. So here's some tips with regards to trying to get to sleep in a reasonable way. Some things that can help you get to sleep. Basically, it's having a routine. If you have kids, you probably remember what it was like when your children were little and you were trying to teach them to go to bed, trying to teach them how to have a good sleep routine. You probably gave them a bath. You might have put lavender lotion on them. You changed their diaper. You put them in their pajamas. You maybe put them in one of those little zip up things. Or babies, you swaddled them. You did what we always called the burrito to help them so they weren't doing this the entire time. It was a very set routine you did to teach your tiny human how to go to sleep. So we get older, we go through high school where, you might have crazy amounts of homework, or college when you're, pulling all-nighters. You graduate and you're in a career where, you're busy all day and you just want to unwind and watch television until you fall asleep or whatever. And all of a sudden you have completely messed up your sleep routine and your body doesn't understand what it needs to do to calm down. So go back to literal basics. Get a routine. Maybe it is, well, first of all, you should have your any kind of LED light, computer, phone, iPad, tablet, whatever it might be, should be shut down. I think it's ideally like 2 hours, but really, at least an hour. You need to shut all that down. So let's say you want to get to bed at 10, 9 o'clock, you turn all that stuff off. You go in and you wash your face, you brush your teeth, you floss. Maybe you go in, you do put on some lotion that smells good. Lavender is a great smell that promotes sleep. Lights down low, or you're reading. All of these things that you are specifically doing in an order so that by 10 o'clock it's lights out and you're asleep. Now, if you wake up in the middle of the night, there really is no point in laying there and trying to fight yourself back to sleep. After about 15 minutes, you should get up and go try to do something else. And this comes from back in my day as a Weight Watcher leader, and I had a speaker come in on a Saturday afternoon. She was she did sleep studies, I think at Northwestern, I can't remember, maybe Loyola. Anyways, one of the colleges in Chicago. And she said, the worst thing you can do is lay there and watch the clock and hope to God you fall back asleep. Get up, go do something. Maybe it's the routine again. Maybe it's getting up and the lotion and all of that type of thing. Watching television, again, it's the light, so it may not be a really great idea. And try to get back to sleep that way. But fighting it is just going to make it worse. The mind starts spinning, you start getting angry. Somebody told me the other day I think it was my dad, told me he doesn't have the clock facing him so that if he wakes up in the middle of the night, he doesn't fret over how long he's awake. I think that's a great idea. So those types of things. Making sure you're shut down electronically, having a routine, and then I will share again, I think I've shared this before, trying not to eat for about 2 hours before you're going to bed. And it's not because there's a magical cutoff time that's going to make you lose weight, but when you are digesting, all of your energy, your blood and everything is going to your stomach to digest your food. And your body temperature rises, which makes it harder to fall asleep. So you really want to have about a 2 hour space of time between when you finish eating for the evening, whether that's a snack or dinner or whatever, and when you get to bed. so that all of your functions are working to your advantage versus against your advantage. This all might sound like, oh my God, I don't have time to do all that. Again, it is about self-care. Getting a good night's sleep will make you more energetic during the day. You'll get more accomplished. You'll be more focused. You will make better, healthier choices when you're trying to eat. So falls under that sort of ounce of prevention, pound of cure. And if you are nowhere near having this kind of routine right now, I don't expect and I don't want you to try to have this routine for 7 days this week. Pick one day this week that perhaps you have the space to try out a sleep routine. Whatever day that might be. Maybe it's Thursday night. You got nothing going on. Everybody's home. Nobody's got sports. Nobody's got arts. You've got time. You can totally make this work. Pick one day this week where you can give yourself a bedtime routine. Look at when you want to go to sleep and work backwards and set that up and see how that feels. Now, again, this also may not magically happen overnight, but if you can find a way to make a routine that would work for you and continue that process, that would be awesome. So that's my tips and tricks, mainly because I love to sleep and I want everybody to love to sleep and I want everybody to sleep well. That is my tips and tricks for this week with self-care. And I will be back next week for another self-care tips and tricks. Have a great week.